Good evening. I'm John Halton. I'm the developer of the Seahorse Estate subdivision. It's my wife Amanda, and yeah, we're staying in here in our lit fishing pier. That's one of the many amenities here at Seahorse. Wife and I live on site here, just to the right of the parking lot on the bay, on a bay home. Brother and his wife also live here on site, just across the street. So we're just building absolutely gorgeous homes. We're also providing property management, ensuring that your guests have the best experience possible. And that also includes the homes that we manage. We set up a beach cabana each day of their stay, so that they can come and go as they wish and enjoy the beach without worrying about storms, without worrying about the right spot on their beach. They can come, go, enjoy it, and not worry, because that's what it's about. It's about coming out here and spending time with your families. And time is precious, so use it wisely. So here at Seahorse, we're 1 hour from Houston. It's paradise. I know there's lots of places you can choose to own a vacation home, second home, but if you live in Texas, there is none like this. There's none that you can actually drive to. And so, best part, we do allow renting, but responsible renting. We live on site. We provide the on-site property management. You don't have to worry about it. These are very nice homes. They're treated well. We make sure they're treated well, and and that's not only protects your environment, but your investment, but it preserves whether your neighbor chooses to rent or not should not affect your experience. And we're fortunate because here at Seahorse, we are one row beach, one row bay on really big lots with really long driveways. So it's not like some of the developments in Galveston where sure you might have a 5-bedroom house, but they limit you to 4 cars. Well, that's fun. Are you supposed to accomplish that? So here we have really long driveways. Parking is not an issue. And that means that not only is parking not an issue, but you can actually enjoy your home and rent it without it affecting your neighbor. So it's not the fear, and I understand the fear. Renting, in a lot of communities, renting is a hot button. People love it, people hate it, for good reason. Because if you've got 10 rows of homes stacked on top of each other, sure, what your neighbors do and their renters can certainly affect your enjoyment. Here at Seahorse, you don't see them. When you house on both sides, if you might be renting, they're not going to affect you because you get really, your views are undisturbed. Not only that you have an unobstructed panoramic view of the ocean or beach, you have an unobstructed view of the other. And our building lines ensure that your visual corridors are not affected. And so we have so much space that renting is not going to affect your enjoyment. But it is really valuable optionality, right? A lot of times I talk to people and I always ask them, have you thought of renting? Most of the time, a lot of our buyers, frankly, they don't have to rent. And that's a blessing, but they're smart. They also understand the value of optionality. And why would you lock yourself into a home? It's investment. Why would you lock yourself into a home that you can't rent, that you're stuck, when you can buy a home that you have the option to rent, take that cash flow if you so choose, and still go to Colorado, still spend that time in that home in Vail. And worse, why would you own a home in Vail if you live in Houston that you hardly ever get to use, when instead you could own this in paradise, still go to that home in Vail by just renting your home in the summer, but the difference is you can enjoy it throughout the year. That means that when your baseball game is done, you can actually leave the baseball game, grab all the kids' friends, drive just over an hour, and spend time in paradise. That is priceless. That optionality is what it's all about. Life is about spontaneous vacations. It's not the planned vacations. Anybody can plan a week, 2 weeks here, Europe, whatever. It's the weekends that you go out with the family and spend time. It's hey, the kids have the day off school, or you've got the afternoon off, or play hooky, whatever. Those are the fall breaks. Those are the times those are the memories that truly are priceless. The vacations that weren't planned, that you're doing because you do have the second home. And so if the worst problem we have is, hey, the home is not rented, let's go use it because we have time. Great. If wow, gosh, we're disappointed because the home is rented, and well, good, you're making money and you can take that money and you can go travel somewhere else. But to me, the optionality of being able to responsibly rent, knowing that we have on-site property management, knowing your investment is taken care of, and from an investment standpoint, this is absolutely irreplaceable. I mean, this is not some development on a golf course that, yeah, it's as good as until somebody else builds a nicer, newer one. Because frankly, there's only so much beachfront property left. There's only so much buildable bay. And I assure you, there's between us and Galveston, there's not. Most of it's covered in wetlands. I know how hard it was to get this done. It is priceless. So this, from an investment standpoint, what do you think is going to happen? Well, who knows, but you have there is a very limited supply of buildable beachfront property. Beachfront property that actually also has Bayfront views. That's amazing. Bayfront that also has private access to beachfront. You get it. You have the best of both worlds. And again, listen, on purchase here, have a great investment. You have the option to rent and spend time and still enjoy the best of both worlds, still enjoy those vacations in Colorado, still enjoy all those things. But you're not locking yourself up to some home somewhere that you don't get to enjoy. Own it here where you can actually drive and be spontaneous and spend that time on the beach instead of having your kids stuck at home on the screen.
Now, along those lines, can you talk a little bit about what has happened to property values out here over the years that you've been here, and what does it look like as far as rentals and utilization? Because I know that sometimes I see things in the press about Galveston or what have you, and we've had a very different experience in a very different market out here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a narrative out there that Galveston is, overbuilt, and there's too many vacation homes and too many short-term rentals and such. Well, the truth of the matter is, very few of those vacation homes, short-term rentals in Galveston, truly are beachfront or bayfront. Most of those are interior lots. They're homes that, frankly, probably shouldn't have been short-term rentals, right? There are very, very few real 4 or 5 bedroom. I mean, we don't. These are not small homes. We're not building small homes. We have 5 bedroom or 5 bedroom and up homes. They all have elevators that we're building. You don't have that many vacation homes like this in Galveston, period. There's very short supply. And when you think about the ability for 3 families to rent one of our homes, it's incredible. I mean, you're not gonna be able to accommodate 18 people in our, one of our homes that we own. We live in a bay home, but we also have a beachfront home just to live in the bay. But we have a home that we keep, and when our family and the rest of our family is in town, we gives us a little extra room. But when it's not, we rent it. So as well. So we're not just property manager. We also have a home. Well, in that experience, it's 18 we sleep 18. We've got an elevator, 5 bedrooms. It's a great investment for people because I think $1,500 a night in the summer. But is that expensive? I'd say not. Not if you can have 3 families and all their kids. Where are you gonna? You can't go find hotels in town for that. Much less with a beachfront view in a chef kitchen, and decks, ocean and bay facing decks, and access to these kind of amenities. And on top of that, we set up a beach cabana for you, so they have the families can come and go and use the beach at their leisure, not having to worry about setting up a cabana, or much worse, hey, the storm's coming. Do they have to scramble to get it down, or is it going to get stolen or whatnot? Branded cabanas, it's on us. If the storm comes, we're responsible for it. We have them locked up, and it's just something we do. Again, it's about peace of mind, but it's really about families spending time together, building memories, and just spending time together and away from the screens, right? We've all got so many distractions. I just think we can create an environment that fosters, family spending time together and building relationships.
We kind of talked along those lines about how fortunate we are to be in Brazoria County, where we have a lot less taxes and we have a lot less regulations coming against us as being responsible renters out this direction. Can you kind of talk a little bit about what that means to be in Brazoria County and why we're fortunate to be out in this area?
Yeah, well, first of all, we are our own. We have obviously we're a high-end subdivision with deed restrictions. We live on site. We're doing things right. We're not going to, we're making sure that things are done the best way possible. Responsibly possible. That means the environment. That means that you're never going to have to worry about somebody building and somehow compromising your view corridor, because we have clear building lines to protect you. County does a phenomenal job of maintaining the beach. They're phenomenal. We have a beach that's quiet because we don't have the infrastructure to support all the tourism. So if you're not fortunate enough to have access to a home, and that means either owning one or renting, it's hard for families to come out and because they don't have the infrastructure, bathrooms. But it really is an ideal environment if you are looking for a place to spend time as families. We can have fireworks on the beach. We can have bonfires on the beach. Doesn't get much better.
Why don't you tell us a bit more about just the beachside amenities? I know there's a lot of amenities in total for staying here, but why don't you focus on the beachside amenities and tell us a little bit about those?
Well, first of all, we're right at the center beach rec area that borders the ADA compliant walkover to the beach. In this beach rec area, we have 3 bocce ball courts, 2 cornhole courts, 2 shuffleboard courts, and some putt-putt courses. And we've also added a pavilion that your family and friends can gather around and enjoy the beautiful view. Great way to watch your kids play while relaxing, enjoying a drink, just spending time together. But it's also a fantastic way to catch an evening fireworks show. We happen to sit in a section of beach where fireworks are allowed, and there's nothing more spectacular than fireworks over the beach.
Now, you talked a bit about the beach cabana service. Can you explain a little bit and maybe let us know what would that look like? We're standing out by where the beach is at that people would come out to, and it's a nice wide beach. Can you let us know more about that?
Sure. Every morning, our team sets up a beach cabana for our guests as their home. So that's something that's included as part of our beach club offering. That means that when you're ready to enjoy your day, family comes out to the beach. They have a branded cabana assigned to them with chairs, secured, it's locked. They don't have to worry about it if a storm comes in. That's on us to take it down if we're concerned, although our cabanas are not the typical cabanas that are normally available. Ours are very sturdy, designed for the weather. But even then, it's our team that's responsible for not just setting it up, maintaining it, making sure that it's safe, putting it up at night when you're done. So we want our guests enjoying their time here, which is precious, enjoying time with their families, not worrying about setting up cabanas or whether they're safe or whether they should be worried about the storms that are coming in or whatnot. Those cabanas include 6 chairs, and then we also have boogie boards available at the homes, sandcastles and whatnot. So again, it's all about maximizing our guests, our families' enjoyment of this beautiful beach that we're blessed with.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about this beach? For example, is this something that you have to be concerned with erosion?
That's actually a great question, and that's probably something that buyers should focus on a lot more. We happen here at Seahorse, we're blessed. We happen to sit on not just the widest stable section of Falls Island, but we're sitting on a beach that's growing rather than eroding. The fact that I think most realtors really don't want to talk about is that 64% of the Texas Gulf Coast is eroding 4 to 6 feet a year. That's a big deal. That means you can go get a mortgage on a multi-million-dollar home that mathematically will not have any beach by the time that mortgage is done. That's crazy. That's something that buyers should focus on a lot more on. And the fact of the matter is, you can get insurance to protect from hurricanes. You can do nothing about the normal geologic forces. Sand's going to go where sand goes. Here at Seahorse, we're blessed that we're gaining sand on an annual basis. We have an extremely wide beach. You actually, today you're looking at a high tide. And this is a very high tide for us. Yet we still have a lot of beach. If you were to go down the road, Surfside, and then go down the road to Galveston, maybe the nicest neighborhoods in Galveston, you'd be probably lucky to find any beach at all. And you know, that's a big deal. The fact that we're eroding is not something that we're growing rather than eroding. It's not something that, as a developer, I can take any credit for per se. It had nothing to do with platted. I can take credit for the platting setbacks, but it is a huge blessing to be on a beach that's not just stable but growing.
You know, one of the things that comes up is the difference between an AE and a VE flood zone. Can you talk a little bit about what is the difference and why should anyone care?
Sure. So those are risk categories that are set by FEMA, and the fact is that Seahorse, both our beachfront and our Bayfront homes, are zone AE. Is a lower risk category than VE, which nearly every other home you're going to find, waterfront home you're going to find on the coast, is zone VE. So huge difference. It means we have a lower risk category. Or insurance. We have great private flood that may not be available elsewhere. And you know, despite that, we are actually zone AE 14. We are here at Seahorse Homes. We build our homes up to 18 feet above base flood. It's just additional savings. We could build them lower, but we choose to build to the higher standards. We technically don't have to use breakaway walls because we're at AE on the lower ground floor. We still do. We build to the highest standards as if we are a VE zone, but it is significant that we are blessed to be zone AE, partly because of our setbacks. As you can see, we you know what? When I platted at Seahorse, I platted it with our vegetation of 225 feet. Our building line to the vegetation line was 225 feet. Because we're on a beach that's growing rather than eroding, we're actually gained. So our most recent surveys on our homes that we built, our building line is 276 feet from the vegetation line. So we've gained over 50 feet of beach vegetation. That is significant. I mean, why do setbacks matter? Well, because it's your protection from storms. You know, day-to-day storms. Yeah, it's beautiful to have your home right there on the beach, but it's doesn't do much for the peace of mind when the storm comes in. Nobody likes to have water underneath your structure, your home compromised. I wanted to have setbacks because that protects you, and the fact is that nobody will ever build in front of you. So when we say we have a beachfront home, that is truly a beachfront home. That means that you have a panoramic view, because we build on a building line. You know, often in areas they call it a beachfront home, but they have no control what their neighbors do. So there may be somebody on the left or right that builds ahead of them. So yeah, might have a beachfront quote unquote view if you look directly across straight, but you're looking at the back of homes. To me, that's not a beachfront home. So our beachfronts offer truly panoramic views of the beach. Frankly, our bay lots are unobstructed second row beach, while also offering a panoramic view of the bay. Deep setbacks matter. It protects you from storms. Insurance protects you, but the setbacks protect you from the storms and geologic change. And so the fact that we've got deep setbacks and that we're in a growing beach means that we're in the best possible environment that you could hope for. And the fact that the manner in which we build our homes, best in class process materials, not just to withstand the hurricanes and whatnot, but also minimize maintenance.
Why don't you talk a little bit about, I know that you've mentioned the vegetation lines here. We have a natural vegetation line here at Seahorse. Why is that important versus some of the other artificial vegetation lines that people are building?
It's not the vegetation. We have a naturally growing beach. That means our vegetation is increasing. In fact, there's a lot of money is spent on the Texas Gulf Coast trying to mitigate and frankly fight a losing battle against geologic forces. If you're in a beach that's eroding, people have spent a ton of money adding sand. Well, that's great. It just means it ends up coming eventually to Seahorse because we're gaining sand. You can add, but water's going to take sand and it's going to move. So we happen to be in a section of beach that's proven to be growing. So many places are spending a ton of money trying to add sand, which in itself is in short supply. So even if you do have the funding, you can't find the sand. And others have tried to do geotubes, which, if I'm not mistaken, I think Beachside Village has a geotube. I think they were the only one in Hurricane Ike that did not lose their geotube. But the question should be asked, what happens in the next storm if and when it is lost eventually? Who pays for that? These are not cheap. These are costly. And even with that, places like Beachside are eroding. They're still losing. Not just a foot or two, but 4 feet a year, 4 to 8 feet a year. That's enough said. That's something that somebody should take very seriously and should factor in. So, here at Seahorse, again, we're blessed. We have a beach that's growing. We have deep setbacks. People talk about, I get asked all the time, oh, are you concerned about rise and sea levels and this and whatnot? Well, no. Fact is, we're growing. We're growing. Now, other areas, yeah, it's a big deal. It's in the news. You've seen it's in the Northeast and whatnot where many houses have been lost. It is a real issue. You can do nothing about the ground underneath your structure is going away. Insurance is not going to protect that. You're going to lose your legacy. You're going to lose your investment. Here at Seahorse, we are about building your legacy. We're looking to build homes that, frankly, are generational homes, pass on to your kids, your grandkids, built to last. And we're in I'm not worried about rising sea levels because we're growing. We're actually increasing. And that's proven by the geologic trends and data. And I do not want to have to, circling back to your question, I don't want to have to rely on man-made attempts to mitigate geologic forces. It's a losing battle. I'd rather people invest in an area that nature's working for us, not against us.
With so many choices, why pick Seahorse versus other places that people could vacation?
Well, because if you live in Houston or really anywhere in Texas, there is nothing like this. We designed this as one row beach, one row bay. Every home is going to give you a view of ocean and bay. We have incredible amenities. We're standing on a lit fishing pier. There's not too many places in the world where you can literally walk out your house and go catch your dinner without ever getting wet. We're on a beach that's growing rather than eroding right across the street. So you're not settling for beach or bay. You get the best of both. But, there are a lot of choices. You can find nicer beaches if you get on a plane, but you're not going to find anything like this. This is paradise within an hour from Houston, hour and a half. Dallas, short drive. So if you're trying to avoid getting on a plane and spending your whole day in the airport, it's all about having the time to build spontaneous memories. This actually gives you the opportunity to leave the baseball game and grab all your kids' friends and actually go to your beach house and enjoy your vacation home. A lot of great places. We lived in Colorado. There's a lot of great places to own a home in Colorado. But at the end of the day, if you live in Texas, why would you want to have your second home in Colorado when you could be enjoying something on a regular basis and still And if you want to go to Colorado, rent the home, use the money you would be making. You can still go to that home in Vail. The difference is you're going to enjoy your home on weekends throughout the year. That's what it's all about. It's all about building memories. And it's not the long vacations, it's the spontaneous vacations. It's a spontaneous time. That is what it's all about. And there simply is nothing like this if you, it's a nice fish. If you live in, if you live in Houston, we're in paradise. I mean, it's hard to believe that we're this close to Houston and you've got this.
So some people say, why would I go there when I could go to Galveston?
Galveston's nice. Galveston has a lot of great restaurants, a lot of those things. But at the end of the day, if you're leaving you got a lot of great restaurants in Houston. You're not leaving Houston to go to other restaurants. You're living in Houston to get away. You live in Houston to really spend time on the beach, spend time with your family. Our beaches are much quieter than anything you're going to find in Galveston. They're much wider. Where we are on Fowles Island, which is a sister island to Galveston, adjacent to just over the San Luis Pass Bridge, but we're a much narrower island. What does that mean? Well, that means we don't have a population of 50, 60,000, whatever Galveston is. If you live in Fowles Island, it's because you have a beach house. So if you're lucky enough to be able to rent or own a beach house, there's no better place to be because you're not going to have the congestion that you would otherwise have. You have a beach, and in our case, we're on the county. The county does a fantastic job of maintaining our beaches, yet we can still have bonfires. We can have fireworks. We have the best of both worlds, and we have one of the lowest property taxes you're going to find in occupancy taxes. So at the end of the day, it's a win-win all around. And the way we designed Seahorse in particular is to take full advantage of the unique setting that we have. With one row beach, one row bay, staggered lots, you're going to enjoy views that are second to none. I mean, I don't care whether you're on beach or bay. You're going to either have a panoramic view of the bay with an unobstructed second row view of the ocean, or vice versa. You're going to have a panoramic beach view with a second row unobstructed bay view. And that's simply something you're not going to find anywhere in Galveston. Because it is a much wider island, there are no developments where you're going to have that kind of proximity where not only do you have the views, but you can actually walk. I can walk from beach to bay, and
I can roll from beach to bay.
You can roll from beach to bay. So if the hardest decision I have to make is whether I want to get up early in the morning and fish to surf, or whether I want to stay up and fish the pier on their nights, those are the type of decisions I like having to make, and that's what it's about. It's spending quality time with friends and family. And frankly, it's, we say it's paradise within reach, and it really truly is. Designed this as a place I wanted to call home, and so I live here. I've been asked numerous times by other developers why I didn't, almost questioning me why I didn't plat more rows and could have had 4 rows beach, 4 rows bay. I wasn't seeking to maximize density. I was seeking to maximize the quality of life and the spacing that we enjoy here at Seahorse, the views, room to breathe. Because frankly, I think if you leave your nice neighborhoods in Houston, you're not necessarily looking to go to another crowded neighborhood. You're looking to get away. And so, not that I don't like people, I love everyone, but I want to have room to breathe. And if I want to come spend some time here fishing, I can actually get away, see people when I want to see them, not see them when I don't want to see them. And I think more than anything, spending time with family. I love the fact that our kids are in college. But the best part is they all want to come home. Well, they all are. 2 of them are getting married, and that's the awesome part is they want to get married here. They want to spend time here. They want to come home. We had an awesome house in Colorado, great views, big home, but it's one thing to see the mountains. You can't really just step out and enjoy it here. Literally, we can step out and enjoy the best of Beach Bay. And it really is, frankly, incredible to think that we're 1 hour from Houston. And it's not just Houston. We're just a few minutes from Lake Jackson. I mean, when we talk about amenities, Lake Jackson is a fantastic town. Our church is there. You have every restaurant you could want, every amenity you can want. Grocery store. We never worry about our daughters going to Lake Jackson to go in a grocery store. Not one time do I have to worry about it. I think that's really, frankly, better than most resort areas where I would worry about my kids. We don't ever have to worry about our kids going like, it's a fantastic town. So it's just a few minutes away. So, and HEB would deliver the groceries to our house, put them in the elevator. So it really is it feels like you're stepping away and you're hours away, yet you're only a few minutes away. And that is hard to find anywhere.
I know that you mentioned in there a lot of amenities, but I didn't hear you mention all of the amenities. I know this year we had some new amenities that you came out with and finished. And so can you talk a little bit about that? I know that in the morning, every morning y'all set up the cabanas for people that are here, and then you provide some other amenities that they have access to. Can you tell me about that?
Sure. At the end of the day, here at Seahorse, our best amenities will always be the amenities that got created, right? This incredible bay that it is a fisherman's. I mean, I love nothing more than coming out here. This is my refuge. Like coming out here at night, catching trout, redfish for hours. Not a soul out here. It's great because it's not very deep, about 3 feet deep, which is great. Keeps most of the boats out, but it's fantastic kayak fishing or just being out here fishing. So just watching the fish jump makes me want to go get a rod. So this is incredible amenity. Obviously the ocean, the fact that we sit on a wide, quiet beach that is growing rather than eroding, those will always be our best amenities, right? The beach and the ocean. But I also wanted to create other, again, it's all about families spending time together, right? So it's nice when you're tired of the sun, you come in from the beach, between fishing, between going out, between cooking. It's the fact that you can go out there and play a game of bocce ball in our beach rec area. Frankly, I didn't know what bocce ball was until we stayed at a resort in Arizona for our son's baseball game. Super popular, really popular, and I think it's an Italian game. Really fun for families to play. Cornhole, we've got cornholes, and then we have a mini-putt that we've built. A little bit.
You've been beat by putt every once in a while, but
a little selfish for me. I frankly, my favorite thing to do is unwind playing a little bocce, modified bocce golf, chipping balls into the center bocce ball, and it helps my golf game, and it's a fantastic way to unwind after a day when we're done building and the crews have left. That's how I spent my days before I may come out and fish a little bit. Nothing like going out our rec area and chipping some golf balls, and so we have family oriented games that, again, it's all about families coming together, spending time together. So when our son visits college, it's great to go out there and play a little bocce golf together. When the girls are in, play a little putt and cornhole, and
I get
to see them learn new games.
Tables that overlook the ocean,
and so obviously for obvious reasons, accessibility is something that obviously matters, and so we've ensured that our boardwalk is fully accessible, so you can come out of here, enjoy fish, be part of the family. Fully accessible boardwalk to the ocean, to the beach, or rec area is fully accessible. That's something that really matters. But that's not about just vulture. It's about, look, we're all getting older. Baby boomers are getting older. Accessibility matters. Every home I built has an elevator for a reason.
I know I read somewhere that I think that's one of the big reasons people sell their beach houses is because they can no longer get up the stairs, and so now you don't have to worry about that.
Well, that's right.
And it helps for rentals too. So you've kind of taken that off everyone's plate by putting elevators and all that.
At the end of the day, we design and build our beach houses for the elements. We design our beach houses to withstand hurricanes and maintenance. But that also means that our beach houses are built 18-foot BFE. We're actually only selling we're selling the 80. We were selling the lower risk category than just about anywhere else on the coast. Most waterfront properties are B. We're a technically we only have to go up 14 feet. We choose to go up 18 feet. But that means you're going up. So you already have a lot of stairs. So elevators are important because, again, it's not, some people are going to be in a wheelchair, but you take a group of 20 people, somebody has a bad knee, somebody has a hip, somebody has that. Elevators are very important. Best practice is to not just withstand the elements, withstand the hurricanes. We minimize maintenance. We don't just put a metal roof. A lot of people use galvalume. Well, that will still rust. We're using aluminum. It's designed, it's not rust. We don't just put composite decking. We put ducks back water shedding decking that it's much more expensive, but it sheds the water. It allows us to fully finish the downstairs area. Yeah, you will not see a single nail, a single bolt on our decks or underneath our structures. So again, it's not just aesthetics, the look, which they do look a million times better, but it's also the maintenance. Obviously, our windows are impact resistant windows. That goes without saying. But roofs, decking, everything about homes. Frankly, we're using 2x6 studs. I think throughout Galveston, we still use 2x4 mini homes. You're not going to find better built homes than what we have at Seahorse. And frankly, I live here. There's not too many places where your builder lives next door. Not to say we're always learning as we build. And sure, we will continue to improve things and incorporate best practices. But we are always looking to build the best homes possible that not just withstand hurricanes, the elements, but minimize maintenance. We're blessed. I think people over focus on hurricanes. That's really not the real risk. We have windstorm insurance, we have flood insurance. In fact, we're selling AE rather than the VE, which is higher category, which just about any other beachfront, bayfront property on the coast is sown VE, with the highest risk category. So we're a lower risk category. Technically, we only have to build 14 feet up. We still choose to build 18 foot. Technically, we don't have to build our ground floor if we break away. We still choose to. Every element we build to the highest standard, despite the fact that we don't have to. Again, it's just all about building the best possible homes. But at the end of the day, you have insurance for a reason. The real risk that people should focus on, which often don't focus on, is erosion. That's a real risk. It amazes me how throughout the coast you have homes that are so-called beachfront that if you actually looked at a plat, you realize we're platted as a third row home. That to me is absolutely crazy. That's your real risk, because you've got insurance you can build. You can, and that would take one heck of a hurricane, frankly, to do any damage out here. I don't want to tempt fate, but I go 4 or 5 hits Houston, you're going to have more problems throughout Houston than you are here. But the real risk is beach erosion. That you can't do anything about. That you can't stop. That is the ongoing. So we are blessed. We happen to sit on the widest, most stable portion of Falls Island that's growing rather than eroding. When I platted Seahorse, I platted it with building line at 225 feet. Our most recent surveys of the homes that we're building on show that we're now 276 feet from the vegetation line. We have gained over 50 feet of vegetation. I can't take any credit for that. That's the grace of God. We happen to sit on the beaches that's growing rather than eroding, and that is an incredible blessing. I can't take credit for our setbacks. So there are 2 things that protect you. One is the immediate storm. That's about the setback, right? So the fact that we platted at 225 feet, sure, it's nice to be right there on that ocean, isn't it? Wow, what a view. But that is great until there's no more storm. That setback is what protects you from the immediate storm. And that's why we have setbacks. You know, I wanted to have the peace of mind. So you have setbacks. That's the immediate storm, but the thing you can't do anything about, you can't control, is whether you be erosion. Most of the coast is eroding. You've got areas that are losing 4-8 feet a year. Well, it's absolutely crazy to me that you can get a mortgage on a home, a multi-million-dollar home, that mathematically will not be there for the life of the mortgage. If you just take a look at what it's losing on average per year throughout Galveston and other throughout the coast, it absolutely shocks me. Seahorse, it's the opposite. We have the opposite problem, man. And at the end of the day, if the worst problem is that I have to pay to extend our walkovers, that's a good problem to have. And so we're blessed. We build the most incredible homes in a setting that frankly is paradise. I will put our views against any development on the Gulf Coast. You will not find another development that gives you better views, better beaches. And you know, when I say amenities, obviously we're standing on our lit fishing pier. It's just not bad. I mean, and yes, the fishing is phenomenal. We catch a ton of redfish out here. All for some reason seem to be slots. We catch flounders, and we catch just tons of trout. Most of them are small, but the sand trout are absolutely delicious. And it's just a blessing to be out here. Obviously, you have the ocean that everybody knows about. We have 7 walkovers, which for a development of 49 homes, to have 7 walkovers is unheard of. Frankly, when you look at other developments, I may have 1-2 walkovers and there are several hundred homes. So for the density of what we have and our linear footage of beach and our accessibility to the beach is second to none. That was probably enough, but chose to build some other amenities that, again, it's all about families experiencing new things together. And yeah, it's fun to play shuffleboard with the kids, and cornhole, and bocce ball, and putt. You know, those are all fun things to be able to do. Obviously, we've got kayaks. Got a floating section to our pier, which makes launching a kayak a breeze. And Drum Bay, which is part of the Christmas Bay system, is lots of fish around. Drum Bay is a phenomenal fishery, but it is a kayaker's dream. I mean, literally, you could spend days and days and days out here kayaking, exploring every nook and cranny, and never traverse the same water twice. It is. Or younger, here's where I would spend all my time. And kayaking, for me, a little lazy, so it's easy for me to walk out here and the 1,500 feet from my house and just come out here and fish and get dinner and never get my feet wet. But it is phenomenal. On the way down to the houses, we happen to walk through an area of natural ponds that I don't know how, but God's grace, they happen to sit directly in the middle of what is Seahorse. We have 3 natural ponds where we have built a crabbing pier, and when we built.
What you did with the conservation and with the ponds and
yeah, sure. So,
you and the family.
Well, Seahorse is 108 acres. There were 3 plots of land that in total cumulative to 108 acres. So the time I developed it, there hadn't been a beachfront development in Brazoria County in the preceding 30 years. Out of those 108 acres, chose to only develop about the front 50. 1 row beach, 1 row bay. Back 56 or so, 58. So we created the Drum Bay Nature Preserve. And so what does that mean? Well, that means that nobody will ever be able to build here. It's protected from the environment. We're on the migratory bird trail. At certain times of the year, we're just covered in every kind of bird you can imagine. It's absolutely gorgeous. Sometimes the negative is birds do poop, so it's occasionally a fight that we fight, but it is gorgeous. The birds are out here just phenomenal. It protects the environment. We have the rights via this boardwalk, so we have the access to the bay via this elevated boardwalk. And so it just gives us a phenomenal environment where we can come out and fish, launch a kayak. And halfway into our journey, we actually have crabbing ponds. There's tons of crabs out here, but those ponds are tidally influenced ponds, and they hold an incredible amount of crab. And there's nothing funner than to watch families crab. I don't care what age. Everybody loves it. I know our kids, when they come home from college, and Jackie from medical school, she just loves coming out here and crabbing and eating fresh crab. But watching a 3-4 year old with a 82-year-old granddad trying to fish and crab, and just the fact that they have to work as teams, I think is just fun. So we encourage handline only in the crabbing ponds. You can keep them; they're delicious. But we do encourage handline only in the crabbing ponds because it's about families having a good time. So what does handline only mean? It's as easy as you tie a chicken leg to a string, drop it, and those crabs will hang on. One person pulls it up slowly, and the other one scoops it with a net. And so it does require a little teamwork, but that's part of the fun. And so crabs are absolutely delicious. You can easily come out here with your family and catch a meal that would cost you hundreds of dollars at a restaurant. That is priceless.
Surrounding me is the Drum Bay Nature Preserve, and it's one of the things that we care very much about as a family. So we put over 50 acres of our land into this conservation because we wanted to make sure that this view here is not only accessible to our family, but to many generations of families to come, and that we protect the many animals that come here and make this place their home, like the Texas birds that come here that are on the Texas Migratory Bird Trail. Why don't you tell us a bit about some of the upgraded appliances and some of the other things people can expect from a home that is from Seahorse?
Sure. Well, first I want a little plug for my team here. They've done a fantastic job on our website, seahorseex.com, under the Seahorse Homes section, of laying out really all the features about Seahorse Homes, what sets us apart, how we do things. Starting everything we've done here at Seahorse Homes has been about maximizing, taking full advantage of our unique setting, the way we're platted with wide lots, staggered lots. So really it's about maximizing the views of both beach and bay. The fact that we're on 70-foot wide lots means that we're able to build 50-foot wide homes, which still leaves us with a minimum of 20 feet between homes. It means you're not going to be staring at your neighbor. You're not going to be able to reach your hand across the deck and give them a high five. Like our neighbors, but not much. So we want space to breathe. We're all about views. 50 feet means you have this. You have a wall of windows. You don't have this on a 40-foot wide lot, a 50-foot wide lot. You can't build a 50-foot wide home on a 50-foot wide lot. Not possible. So our lots are really the perfect width in that you can have a really nice, perfect wide home, but that's not all hallways. Some lots are really narrow and wide, which means you end up with a lot of hallways and really not a good flow. I think the flow of our homes is really what sets us apart. Awesome views. We've built several homes. My partner, Paul Spike, has built dozens and dozens of homes. I myself have owned several homes, beach homes, and built several beach homes. You always learn. What do we seek to do? Every home we design here at Seahorse Homes and Build has 2 living areas. Why? Because it's all about multi-generational families. Kids can enjoy the game room while the adults can enjoy the great room. Our homes have fireplaces, 2 fireplaces, frankly, one on the great room, one in the living room. And they're all really, it's from the ground up. We build our homes on 12-inch square pilings. Most of the homes you will find built pre-2010, pre-Ike, were built on 10-inch square pilings. The tensile strength of a 12-inch piling is twice of what a 10-inch. So there is no compare. I mean, that's something our buyers need to understand. Often an older home built pre-Ike is in no way comparable to the mini construction, frankly, that's being done now, because the building standards changed completely after Hurricane Ike. So really, post 2010, pre 2010 are really not comparable. Again, it's everything from the ground up, 12-inch square pilings, and the way they're strapped. There were so many changes put in place, really for the better. So these homes are no way comparable. Now, beyond that, we here at Seahorse Homes utilize 2x6 studs for all exterior walls. Many of the homes that you will find elsewhere on the coast, including Galveston, Surfside, are built in 2x4 studs. So the guts of our home that you don't see when you're in them, but they matter. That is, you will not find better built homes. When you look underneath our homes, we finish not just the part right under the home, but we finish the entire structure, including the parts underneath the decks. We do that because we utilize a duct's back. We utilize a water shedding deck. So we're not just using composite decking, we're using a specialized product. That is, while very expensive, it does result in a beautiful, beautiful view where you will not see a single bolt, a single screw on the decks because they're hidden in water sheds, and it allows us to finish the underneath completely. So that doesn't just mean that you have a cleaner look. It also means that from a maintenance standpoint, it's going to be much lower. You're not going to be able to see the bolts screws. So that's really important. So that's that's the outside. On top, we are utilizing. We're not just using metal roofs that you hear people talk about. In practice, most of the metal roofs that you'll see in subdivisions throughout Galveston are galvalume. Galvalume will still rust. Better than shingles, a lot better than shingles, but it will still rust. We are using aluminum, the best in class. Decking is the best possible material you can utilize. Our roofs are the best possible material you can buy. Our exterior studs are the best. Our pilings, everything by the way it's strapped. Our homes are made to withstand elements and minimize maintenance. Now, when you come inside, and again, the way they're designed to maximize, again, views of both beach and bay with covered and uncovered decks facing both sides. So unlike many subdivisions where they frankly have no curb appeal, because, well, rightly so, because there's row and row and row stacked on top of each other. They seem to only focus on one side back. Because who wants to be staring at another home? I understand that. But here at Seahorse, we have beautiful curb appeal with, if you're driving into this, we happen to be in a Bayfront deck home. Well, we have a beautiful deck that still sees the ocean in the front, beautiful entrance. And then we have fantastic panoramic views of the bay. Inside the home, you will find, you can expect to find 48-inch dual fuel ranges, top of the line, everything. We don't spare. We have, our homes all have double fridges. In this model, there's a fridge in the kitchen. There's also one in the pantry. Not the pantry, and one in the laundry. These include 2 refrigerators, G Cafe refrigerators. They also include dual stacked washer dryers, because from experience, we understand how important it is to be able to turn home around, maximize your rental value. You're gonna experience matters here. So same, we have 2 living areas, and we always have these many of our homes have 4 primaries, because we know that you're going to be vacationing with friends, grandparents. In our experiences, this is multi-generational. So we don't want our guests arguing about who gets a primary bedroom. All our models have multiple primary ensuite bedrooms. And we always have at least 1 built-in bunk room, which when you look at them, there's no better way to maximize space than a built-in bunk room with built-in storage. They're beautiful. The kids love them. Every bed has access to power and light, and so this is something that we know that the kids absolutely love. So again, it's all about maximizing luxury, the livability of the home, views, but also conscious about occupancy matters. Because, and I often get asked, well, I don't need a home that big, or do I really need a 5-bedroom home? Well, here's the fact that when you come to the beach, you're going to find that you have lots of friends that want to come, lots of family that want to come. So you're always needing more space. You are bringing in friends. You're bringing other family members. You're able to tell your children that they can invite their friends. So having things like built-in bunk rooms, having things like many of our models have 2 built-in bunk rooms, so that it's not a question the guys and gals can each have their own bunk room, and you have plenty of primary bedrooms that everyone is happy in. And it's comfortable luxury with views that you're not going to find anywhere else. Best in class construction, and in every way we are better than the alternative. And again, we have the God-given amenities that are second to none at Growing Beach, a bay, and we've chosen to add to that other amenities like beach rec area where your family can enjoy other games. But we are building homes that are worthy of being in a development like Seahorse Estates. And I can assure you, you're not going to find a better home. And frankly, I live here at Seahorse. So this is not one of those cases where you don't know where the developer or the builder lives. This is what I call home. And then every home I build, I'm building now. If I build a spec home, I'm building it as if it's my home. Doesn't mean we will always improve things. We learn as we go. We are constantly striving to make things even better. But I will put our homes against any construction that you will find in Galveston, or elsewhere. And I will put Seahorse as a subdivision certainly against any property on the Gulf Coast.